Hi! Today we'll very quickly, literally in 20 minutes, cover everything you need to know about Lightroom. A couple of important settings, the best keyboard shortcuts, new AI masks, custom presets, and exporting. You might not be a beginner. Even so, you'll learn something new. It's much more convenient to store photo data next to the photos themselves, not only inside Lightroom's catalog. So, enable the creation of XMP and ACR files. Now you can move your photos anywhere. All edits will be loaded from these files. This is how it looks. One or two files will appear next to the original photo. Don't delete them. Now let's import the photos. Press Ctrl-Shift-I. On Mac, Control means Command. Choose the folder with your photos. It's better to copy them from the camera card first because Lightroom will work directly with this folder. The library module loads. This is where photo culling is supposed to be done. There's also Develop and a few other modules. You can disable most of them. You'll probably never use them. You can enable Auto Hide for the panels by clicking on the triangle. The left panel contains rarely used tools, so maybe you want to hide it to free up space for the photo. Here, you'll find Profiles and Edit History. You can cull photos directly in the Develop module. Use the arrow keys to move between photos, mark the good ones, and reject the bad ones. Press X to mark a photo for deletion. X looks a bit like scissors. If you like a photo, give it a rating from 0 to 5 stars. Later, you can filter by rating. You can also use color labels. These are keys 6 through 9. You can build your own rating system or borrow one from other photographers. You can also simply mark photos that passed your selection. Keys P and U stand for pick and unpick. Once photos are marked, you can filter them. Filtering by rating is usually the most convenient. Right now, there are no 5-star photos here. All these changes are written into XMP files. That means you can send already culled RAW files to someone else. Let's start editing. First, choose a profile. There are many different ones, including profiles that match built in your camera. They define the basic RAW conversion. Recent versions of Lightroom include adaptive profiles. They're supposed to automatically improve the image. Still, we'll choose a neutral Adobe Color profile. Next, presets. There are a huge number of them. You can try applying them to your photos, but most of the time the result isn't great. The histogram shows how good your exposure is. Ideally, it touches both the left and right sides. Now we'll slightly reduce the highlights. This toggle shows clipped shadows and highlights. These are areas outside the dynamic range of the color space. Ideally, there should be a few, but not too many. The dehaze tool is supposed to remove haze, but it can also add a pleasant softness to portraits. Here are the curves. If you're not comfortable using them, move the sliders below. Most of the time, it's worth adding lights and maybe deepening the shadows. Don't touch highlights in this section. Solo mode means only one section can be expanded at a time. It saves a lot of scrolling. Now, sharpening. Zoom in and click the small preview window to see before and after. Lightroom includes powerful AI-based noise reduction and sharpening tools. Try them on low-quality, noisy images. Traditional sharpening works like this. Push the amount to the maximum, adjust the radius until the edges look sharp but not ugly, Then lower the amount to a reasonable level. A slightly blurry photo is better than an over-sharpened one. Masking sharpens only edges and leaves smooth areas like skin untouched. Hold Alt to see the mask. Press backslash to toggle before and after. It's located above the Enter key. Now let's remove the noise that appeared after sharpening. Usually, it makes sense to enable automatic lens corrections, but sometimes you may want to leave them off. In this case, the vignette actually looks good. It's often said that the tools in Lightroom are ordered from top to bottom by usage priority. But here, the white balance is already correct, so we won't touch it. Let's darken the background instead. In recent versions of Lightroom, AI masks were added. You can automatically select the background, people, or the sky and edit these masks separately. Here, we want to visually separate the girl from the wardrobe. That's easy to do by darkening the background mask. We'll temporarily add some color using the Vibrance slider to make the photo a little bit nicer. Never touch the Saturation slider. You can use the color wheels to add simple toning. For example, cool shadows and warm highlights. But we don't need that here. Double-click to reset. Let's make yellow more red than green. Then go to the Calibration section to make red tones more pleasant. And blues more compatible with those reds. It's commonly believed that red and blue should be pushed slightly apart. Then green adjusted until everything feels right. The key is to constantly check before and after, so you don't make things worse. Even better, if you take a 30-minute break and come back with fresh eyes. Now copy the settings from this photo. Choose which settings you want to transfer. In this case, almost everything. You can create presets so you don't have to select settings manually every time. That option is at the bottom of this window. Now find the first photo in the series and paste the settings. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, it's better. Now find the last photo in the series and select holding Shift to select all photos in between, and click Sync. You'll see the same settings selection window. Choose which settings to apply from the first photo to all the selected ones. Now let's move to another series. We'll use this one. The histogram shows almost no highlights. Everything is dark. Let's increase exposure and see if it improves the image. Remove crushed blacks, shown in blue, by lifting the black point. It's brighter now, but we want contrast back. Let's darken the shadows and lift the lights. This makes skin look more alive and attractive. It's a simple but effective trick. Just don't overdo it. Too much contrast is usually bad for portraits. After every step, check before and after. Now copy all remaining settings from the photo we've already fully corrected. When pasting, new settings will be added and old ones will be overwritten. Be careful with the checkboxes. Here, we'll add color, detail, and lens correction settings on top of the existing exposure adjustments. It's a bit too bright. Let's calm it down. And the skin tone is too orange. Remove vibrance. Now it looks good. Copy these settings. Select the first photo in the series, paste the settings, and sync them across the 3 images. Check exposure on each photo individually. See that spot? That's dust on the lens or sensor. Lightroom can remove it automatically. AI and all that stuff. Look how much dust it found and removed. The previous button works exactly as the name suggests. It copies settings from the previous photo without asking any extra questions. Add an AI subject mask. Brighten the subject and separate it from the background. Select the last photo and sync all settings. Make sure this mask is included. Now we need to wait, because the AI mask is calculated separately for each photo, and the time depends on your hardware. It looks pretty good. Let's apply these settings to more photos. For example, this one. Here we can see that lens distortion correction looks too aggressive. Let's bring some distortion back. Sometimes people look better that way. There's dust again. Let's remove it. Not perfect, but almost there. Press F to view the photo in full screen. Check if something was not removed. You can manually fix remaining spots. Once again, copy the settings. This time, don't forget dust removal. Find the first photo in the series, paste the settings, select the last photo while holding Shift, and sync. Friendly advice: don't stare at the progress bar or your phone. Stand up, look into the window, and let your eyes rest. Your eyes need a break to judge color objectively. Let's check the result. The lighting is consistent, and the settings work well across the series. Let's finish the remaining photos. This one is clearly overexposed. Let's fix that. Exposure, shadows, black point. It's still not that good. We need a mask. Let's work on the skin. If we reduce local contrast, that is, clarity, and texture detail, it should hide unwanted skin details. This is before and after the mask. And this is before and after the full edit. The highlights are gone. The window light is soft and pleasant, but we want to separate the background from the subject. Let's darken everything. Add contrast, and cool everything down. And this is probably a good place to stop. There may be some ideal version, but time is limited, and this already looks good. Copy. Paste. Select. Sync. This one seems to be the best in the series. Let's give it a rating. You can save the current state of a photo and return to it later. This is called a snapshot. Give it a meaningful name. Now paste new settings, replacing the old ones. Slightly adapt them for this photo. We want to preserve this light and shadow diagonal. That looks great. Pleasant lighting, symmetry, rhythm. Classic, just like in the textbooks. Create a new snapshot so we can compare changes later. This one is certainly better. Apply these settings to the remaining photos. Once again, Lightroom gives us time to stretch and rest our eyes. Very thoughtful. Check that the settings worked well for all photos in the series. At the same time, you can continue assigning ratings or mark bad shots for deletion. This one is the least expressive. Press X. This one too. Here, you can see the rejection flags. Now let's delete them all at once. Press Ctrl and Backspace. Choose whether to remove photos from the Lightroom catalog or delete them from disk. Now filter photos with a rating above 0. These are the selected images we'll export. Before exporting, save a preset from the current settings. Create a new preset and choose which settings it includes. Let's include everything. You'll be able to apply this preset to any photo later. Now, finally, export. Press Ctrl-Shift-E. Here are your export presets. You can run several at once to get different resolutions in different folders. Choose the destination. There are lots of options. You can name subfolders clearly or overwrite files automatically. For further processing, these JPEG settings work well. And most importantly, the color profile. Set it to sRGB. That way, everyone will see roughly the same colors you saw on your monitor. Resize the image if needed. Sharpen for screen, standard. You can remove metadata. And finally, watermarks. You can create them here. You can make a simple text watermark, play with fonts, choose an unusual position, adjust opacity, size, and shadow. Or you can upload a ready-made image. That's it! You've successfully completed a fast-track Adobe Lightroom course, and hopefully learned something useful. Subscribe to the channel and hit like. That's how it works here. You can also point out in the comments where we got something wrong. It happens. See ya!